Hey, what's up, guys? I haven't done one of these in a while. Obviously, I've been busy with Basara. I've been working really hard getting those videos out for you guys. I just wanted to thank the people who are still watching. I have been going through a metric ass ton of just bullshit, basically. Just depression is something you can't take it lightly. It's been something that I've dealt with for the majority of my life. Just the reality of having to deal with it for the rest of my life has been really hard. I've been going through some other stuff too. I try not to show it in the big videos because nobody wants to hear this shit. It's one of the things I've had to learn the hard way. Is most people don't want to deal with somebody who's depressed. They'd rather you post like a status on social media or something, and somebody's crying for help, or they really just need someone to talk to. Most people will just scroll down because they don't want to deal with it, and I've learned that the hard way. I'm not going to go into details, but I just wanted to thank the people who have been watching. I've seen people have been saying some really nice stuff about the work that I do. It is really hard for me to continue just on the basis of how much it costs to just upgrade. The upkeep of doing this stuff is pretty hard. It's pretty expensive. I mean, even if you play cheaper games like I do. I mean, Basara really wasn't that expensive. I had some money in my PayPal, and I paid the rest out of my pocket. I paid about like $43 for Basara, which for a game like that, I'm going to be playing it for a really long time. That's really, kind of just a drop in the bucket. It doesn't really bother me that much. But the issue is, just the future. PS4, Japan is finally starting to put out some pretty decent PS4 action games and stuff that I can't play on PC, which is starting to make me want one. I've always thought the PS4 was a pretty attractive console, but for the genres that I played, there either A, wasn't much on there at all, or B, I could play it on PS4 and Vita, and given how little I make doing this, dropping $400 on a console when I could just play it on my PC and it'll run the same, if not better, playing something like, I heard they put Astabreed on there and some other stuff, and I think it's pretty cool that it's on there and they enhance the game and all, but, I can play it on PC, so I don't really have a huge incentive to buy one, but I don't know what the point of this is. I know people have been worried about, all the things I've been saying. I wanted to apologize. I just need somewhere to vent. I do a lot with this. The past couple days, I've been pulling 6 to 8, maybe even 10-hour days on Basara. I've been working really hard doing the all moves skill revision video. I don't know how long it took me to make that. I wasn't really timing it or anything, but it took a considerable amount of time to grind out all the Tenka medals, and probably about 30 to 45 minutes to make the raw footage, and then a long time to edit the video and then render it. And it can be pretty draining doing this. I guess it's just, it feels like my channel is not going to grow much more. I've noticed just basically when I did the first Basara 4, Vanilla Basara 4, early last year, I got a pretty decent amount of growth off it. A nice influx of new viewers coming in, just because I guess to this day I don't really know if there's anybody else. I know Ace Nelson puts out some really nice tutorials. He's a really cool guy. I should definitely be following him, by the way. But there's not really a whole lot of other, I guess you could say, representatives in the Basara community that speak fluent English. There are a lot of really hardcore Japanese players. The DMC and Basara communities tend to overlap. The gameplay is pretty similar. Basara doesn't really have enemy steps and weapon switch cancels and stuff, but the character switch mechanic, I'd say, arguably, it puts it on par with the depth of, a recent DMC game like DMC 4. I think, if they ever put out a DMC 5 and they put out a character switch mechanic, it's going to be interesting to compare the two and see which one comes out being the more robust combat system. I will be exploring the game a lot more. One of the things that I haven't really mentioned in my videos in Sumeragi is that pretty much every heavy class boss or officer can be juggled now. The rules for it seem really odd. There doesn't really seem to be any kind of definitive formula for it. It seems like just certain moves will launch them and actually cause them to get, launched off the ground. We really don't understand it yet. If there ever is some kind of formula found for it, I'll detail it. I'll make a video about it for you guys. It definitely really improves the game. There are infinites and stuff that you could do on the heavy class bosses, but it was pretty hard, and most people, don't really take the game to that level. You put any game that has a really heavy emphasis on stylish combos, whenever you take that away from the player for a really long period of time, it usually just ends up being annoying. It usually doesn't even make it much more difficult. You hear a lot of people complaining about, the blitzes in DMC4. Like, pretty much almost every other enemy in that game you can combo to some capacity, but the blitz is pretty much pretty bare bones. He's not really interesting to fight. He does have a cool mechanic. He's blind, and depending on what you do, he can, detect where you are and what you don't do. But in the fact that he doesn't launch and he just kind of, absorbs all your hits, a lot of people consider him to be one of the most boring enemies in the game. The worst enemy in the game is definitely anything that the Chimeras can go on, but in terms of Basara, I think it really enhances the game. If you're wanting to know my thoughts, I'm probably going to put out a review sometime in the near future. I've got a bunch of scheduled videos going out. I want to put out some more, high-end content before I just go into the more relaxed era. I did that with Vanilla Basara, Orochi 2 Ultimate, pretty much all the big games that I've covered on here. It was kind of crunch time for me to get out the videos for the new characters, the ones that I did anyway, explaining all the new system mechanics and stuff. And then after that, I was just kind of playing the characters that I wanted and explaining things. I'm really, anxious to get to that stage because my stress levels, outside of this channel have been pretty high lately. I spent the majority of today just dealing with crippling depression. It's a miracle that I put up something every day, and I'm able to conceal it the best I can, and put on a good show for you guys. I've seen some people, they've expressed wanting to help me. I'm really not big on e-begging. I see people do it a lot, and you don't know what they use that money for. You don't know if they actually need it or not. I've seen people express, that they want to help me, so I will post my links in my non-Basara videos. Right now, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing with my paycheck at the end of this month. I did have a couple plans. I was thinking of probably just getting some casual things for myself. I might, do some cash shop credit on DFO. I did make enough money to buy one of the titles on there. The economy on DFO Global is just really fucked up. It's almost as bad as the real world economy. Things just jack up in price for no reason. I really don't understand why people do that. I found in that game, if you actually undercut your stuff and you don't undercut it too much that you don't make a profit, your stuff will actually sell. But people are just greedy on there. They'll just put stuff up for ridiculous prices and hope that they'll make big bucks, when it's more realistic if you price it reasonably and more people will be able to afford it. I might do that. I was thinking of getting, right now I use my my PC is connected wired to the internet with a little coupler. I was thinking of upgrading to a coupler that has 2 on there, and maybe I could do some Guilty Gear or something. I was thinking of maybe getting back into fighting games. One of the things that's held me back, aside from my personal issues and all the other shit I've been dealing with, is I haven't really been able to have the PC and the PS3 or whatever other console I'm using hooked up to the internet at the same time. And as you know, if you play fighting games wirelessly, the chances of you getting a shitty connection are a lot higher. I'm planning on doing that. I'm not really sure what else is going to happen. I thought about getting One Piece, but given all the problems I've had with DMC4 Special Edition and all the other, if you've been following what's been going on with Koei's ports, they're not the worst out there. They're not like Batman Arkham Knight level where they have to fucking pull them off the store and and issue refunds and stuff like that. They're not really at that level. I think people exaggerate the issues that they have a little bit too much, but I'm definitely going to be waiting to see how that game turns out. If I see some pretty good posts on the forums or other places, people who do port reviews and stuff like that, if they're able to say, you can run this on a piece of shit computer at 60 FPS and there's no problems, or you may have to do a little configuration, I'll go for it. But I'm really not in the financial or mental state to just drop $50 on something. I do want to play the game. I've heard it's pretty much one of the best entries in the Musou series for technical players and stylish players and stuff like that. People who care about the combat systems. I've heard from Swillo, he played that game for hundreds of hours. I trust his opinion, better than anybody. He's as into this stuff as I am. We'll see what happens with that. I'm gonna draw out Basara for as long as I can. After that, I don't really have too much plan, really. I was thinking of getting Mighty Number 9. I kind of want to see a little bit more about that. I know that game's had some drama surrounding it too. People are salty that it doesn't look like the concept art. It looks like a pretty decent game. Given the stuff that I play, if you play Musou games, you're pretty much not really a graphics whore. If you play those kind of games, you're not playing them for the graphics. You're playing them for the gameplay. So I'm interested in checking that out. I think that releases mid-September. After that, Transformers in October. So I'm committed to putting something up every day through October. Past that, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Stylish action games are pretty hard to come by as it is, and they haven't really announced anything past then, so we'll see what happens. I may do some, I don't know, maybe I'll do some fundraisers or something if I need to for a new, video card or whatever. I heard that there's a rumor going around that there's going to be a GTX 950 that's supposed to be priced at $150. I definitely call bullshit on that. Any video card worth a damn is a lot more expensive than that. If it does happen to be true, I'll probably save up and get that. Right now, I'm running a GTX 750 Ti, which is a pretty good video card. I haven't had any problems with it. All the problems that I had with my computer turning off were just the fact that something was wrong with the 570 that I had that Apothecary 2 donated to me. I guess there was just some kind of damage to it, and that was what was causing it to turn off. It's a pretty good video card, but I will have to upgrade in the near future. So I guess my shit's in the description if you want. Thanks for understanding, everyone. I'm trying to work my hardest through all this shit I'm dealing with. I'll do my best to entertain you guys with more Basara footage throughout the rest of the month. Probably well through August, since I'm not really sure what's going to happen with One Piece. Thanks for watching. Peace.